it usually goes off on its own. And welcome to Level Up, Real Talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. Welcome, 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 everyone. And thank you guys for hanging out with us this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Yes, we are live, everyone. And if you are watching us on Facebook, did you know you can head on over to The Real Level Up? That's The Real Level Up on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on I got to make sure that I do this, Mr. Scribe, right? It's no longer Twitter. And also on Instagram. Yes, everyone, we are live on all of these, what they call destinations, but we call them platforms. But with all of that said, you guys, the other most important and exciting thing that I want to make sure that you know, we are also broadcasting live on CHH Jams Radio. Welcome, CHH Jams, for having us on at the same time. So, this is Scribe. We literally have viewers and listeners, right?
Absolutely.
Listen, I want to give everybody a shout out. Look who's already in the building, Mr. Scribe. Our diamond is in the house. Ah, hey, Miss Mary Goolsby, thank you for joining in. We already know that Mrs. Scribe, she hits the share button automatically. So if you guys are watching us on any of these platforms, please do that. Please hit that share button. And if you are watching, Mrs. Scribe, there are some people that will watch, and we just want them to say hello, right? Well, listen, this is going to be a great conversation. As you guys know, that we never interview. We only have conversations with the people that we invite on. Now, the person who is on is no stranger, not at all. I actually call him my media son. But I got to be careful about son because look at the beautiful woman that is sitting right next to him. Mrs. Scribe, you have any idea who that is, Mr. Scribe? Can you take a guess?
Well, let me see. If I'm looking at the names on here, that's Tyrik Wynn and that's Katrina Wynn. So they must be related. But I
Must
thought at first they were brother and sister, but they're mother and son.
Thank you.
You are right, Mrs. Scribe, because let me tell you, my sister is looking fabulous. And little does she know, I've been following her for a long time. I have been praying for a long time that she would grace us with her presence. And she has accepted I think she's accepted the offer before, but that was on me. And I think she's like, okay, if you're going to ask me again, I'm going to say yes again, Miss Angie.
Thank you.
Well, well, welcome to coming on the show, Katrina Wynn. Your first time, and your son, like I said, no stranger to level up. He has been an amazing son to follow
Thank you.
because he's doing incredible things out here. Go ahead, Mr. Scribe.
Thank you.
No, I follow Tariq. You know, sometimes I'll pop in on one of his videos or see him out and about, and he's made up in his mind that this is what he wants to do, and he puts the work in. And that's the whole thing, ladies and gentlemen, young folks. If you want to pursue your dreams, you can't just sit back and wait for folks to do this and do that. You got to get out there and grind. And he's done that, and he's put himself in some really great strategic places by networking, getting the interviews, and building his
Yeah.
basically building his platform. And when he does, I want to be a part of it. I want to come on and be interviewed by Tyrik Wynn. Don't know when it's going to happen, but like I said, I'm looking forward to the opportunity.
Well, Mr. Tariq, what do you have to say, sir?
Well, yeah. First of all, I just want to say thank you so much for having me again. I feel like I kind of do the show once a year now, so I feel like it's kind of like a tradition now. So I appreciate it because we always, when you have me, there's always new stuff, and we're always doing updates. Oh, thank you, Mary. I appreciate that. So I always feel like when I do the show, there's always more updates and I have even more to talk about. So I always appreciate you guys giving me the platform to be able to talk about these things and give an update on career and life and all that good stuff. So I'm excited to be here. I appreciate it, and I'm ready for it.
You're ready to rock and roll. Well, listen, I'm gonna give you a little secret. It's part of the reason why we asked your mom to come on, because she's going to give us a little back history. So, you've been on so much that we've already know what you thought about when you were 10. So we're going to ask your mother. So who was he at 5?
Oh gosh. At 5, that's the thing. Now at 5, he didn't want to do media. He wanted to be a judge. That was what he originally wanted to do. So I always watched Judge Judy, and I watched a lot of Law and Order and stuff like that. So he would watch the shows, and he said, "Okay, who has the most control in the courtroom?" I said, "Judge," and he said, "I want to be a judge." So that's what it started off as. But I think once he got older, he used to love to watch the news, and then he wanted to be a weather person because he loves the weather. So he still loves the weather. So at first it started off as that, and then he was like, then he started looking at like Oprah and so he was like, I want to be a talk show host. So it kind of changed, but it was always something like he was gonna be talking and kind of in control. So I knew that, yeah.
Well, Katrina, before we get into the deep dive, because this is what I'm going to do with you. I remember the first time meeting him, right, and you were right there. So we're gonna give the audience that during that time as well, what you thought, what I was thinking. Seeing this bright young man coming to the radio station and doing what he's doing. But before we get started, I want Mr. Scribe to set the tone for the show. We're going to take our break, and then we're going to get right into a good session and talk about your son.
I wanted to say real quick, Katrina, the shows you just mentioned, Judge Judy, Law and Order, I watch them constantly. But at my age now, y'all used to watch it back in the day as well. But unfortunately, I didn't go to law school. But
Okay.
I'm going to read, usually what I do for the show, I just allow the Holy Spirit to guide me in what scripture I select for the show. And here's what I came up with, what he came up with. 1 Peter, the 4th chapter, the 10th and 11th verse, and it reads, each of you should do whatever gift you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace in various forms. Do not be slothful in zeal, be fervent in spirit, serve the Lord.
Ooh, Mr. Scribe, always setting the tone. Thank you for sharing the word of God, Mr. Scribe. What we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take our first break. First, we want to give a shout out to our sister show. There goes Pat Nash in the building, y'all. Also, want to give a shout out to Grace, who is always behind the scenes supporting the cause. Well, listen, everyone, we're going to have an amazing show. We're definitely going to have a show that you definitely want to be a part of the conversation. So here's a couple of things you guys can do. First, get on like and share. Then on the other side of that, do what Pat Nash do. She just said hello. But you never know that you want to get right into this conversation with the extraordinaire of Tyrik Wynn and his, what we call, maternal mentor, his mother. You guys, we're going to come right back with an incredible show you don't want to miss. Well, you're listening and watching Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. We'll be right back.
K-Town.
Yeah. Mike Jesus. Yeah.
One time for the independent women that's doing their own thing and killing the boss game. Working all night, pursuing a life change while putting my God first and praising his high name. I say, little mama, gon' do that there. But the people hating on you, tell them we don't care. We gon' watch God work as they stop and step, and you'll be coming out the fire with the flawless hair. Yeah, but first you gotta love yourself, cause if you ain't trying to do it, then who else gon' care? Real talk, grab a mirror, gon' look real deep, cause my God is top notch, he don't make none cheap. See, I'm looking for a woman that ain't scared to shine, who is led by a king that is so divine. I took some time to vibe, what I feel is true. A salute to all women that are going through. I love you. Cause I'm looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like you. Yeah, I'm looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like you. So many women with potential, the mental is on point. Went to school and got the job and you were great, my girl. This right here is your joint. Life is hard, I know true, but you gotta step back, let the Lord be your guidance. He'll lead your path and everything that you ask for, then gon' run a little brighter. That's right. Go ahead, love, I'ma get out your seat. Stand firm and plant your feet. Tell the world you playing for keeps. And I'ma watch you stand tall like a tree. Can't nobody else live your life for you. So tell them all you bout to move. I try to guide us busting through. And ain't nobody gon' stop it, you a chosen few. Cause I'm looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like you. Yeah, I'm looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like you.
These insecurities showing more vividly, and the works of the devil is more stupidly, and the blessing wasn't really coming expeditiously. Sometimes I die to be pretty. Man, R.I.P. Devil, let my heart go so I can be free. If I sleep with my eyes closed so I can have pretty dreams. Go to nachos I eat just to fall asleep, just to wake up out my dreams and still be depressed a week. Use another source to be happy. Who can relate to me? But you gotta remember that God got you like a key. It's up to me to set free my impurities, and it's up to me to carry myself like a queen. And when you give up on yourself, you defeat it mentally. I don't have to be good for nobody except for me. And when you focus on negativity, you blinded and insufficient minded with the devil's right behind you. And when you in the midst, man, God will always find you.
Cause I'm looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like you. Yeah, I'm looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like you.
This is recording artist Bertrand McKinney, aka Birdie, and you're listening to CHH Jams, where the bars come from the word. Y'all keep it locked.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's right. This is Orlando Presents right here on CHH Jam Presents. Make sure y'all tune in every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, and check out our new show, CHH Jam Presents, right here on The Real Level Up. Let's go, y'all. Let's level up. Let's get it. CHH Jam Presents.
Don't touch that dial. Just chill for a while. Keep it locked with my man Tony D. Welcome to something new, something you're not used to. It's fresh and guaranteed to bless. New artist profile. Yeah, it's a new day with a new sound. Keep it locked, you're listening to the new artist profile. Thank God for music. New music on the radio.
I am thrilled to present you Journey to the Poetic Light, a heartfelt collection of poems that unravels the intimate and profound moments of life through the lens of poetry. This book is a beacon for those seeking silence, inspiration, and a glimpse into the kaleidoscope of human emotions. Journey to the Poetic Light invites you to wander through a landscape of emotions where each poem is crafted to guide you toward enlightenment, reflection, and inner peace.
They said it was wrong to promote me. that I wasn't ready, that I would fail.
Those who have betrayed me must pay.
You're the first black agent. Don't be the last.
Revenge is all I have left.
The CIA cannot get involved, so you're on your own.
Aren't we all?
I'm a man who gets what he wants.
Just get me the money. You have 24 hours.
Hey everyone, this is Pat Nash with Pat Nash Talks, and you're listening and watching Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. Lock in every Sunday right here from 3 to 5, where you will hear extraordinary stories from ordinary people.
This is Kimberly Howell with Angel Wings Music Presents. Listen or watch Level Up each and every Sunday from 3 to 5. Keep it locked right here.
Heads up, Level Up Nation. At 6 p.m. Eastern, we have the new artist profile with Tony D. At 7 p.m. Eastern, we have CHH Jams Presents with Orlando and Kimberly. At 9 p.m. Eastern, Pat Nash Talks with Pat Nash. Coming in November, stay tuned, Level Up Nation. And welcome back to Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. Welcome back, everyone. And thank you guys for hanging out with us this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Once again, if you guys are watching us on Facebook, did you know you can head on over to The Real Level Up? That's The Real Level Up on LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, X, and also we are being broadcast live on chhjams.com. That is our radio affiliate. So if you guys are driving somewhere, please stop watching the show. We got a way that you guys can listen to the show. Well, welcome back, everyone, and thank you for just coming in and tuning in. Now, this is what we want you guys to do. Be sure you share, be sure you like, but not only that, let's get right into this conversation. So before we came off, Mr. Scribe, do you see this wonderful dynamic between a mother and her son? Do you see it?
Oh, I can feel it through the screen, Angee. It's a wonderful thing to be able to be raised by a mom, but then to stay connected to your mom, and your mom is your mentor to God. Most mothers do mentor their kids by giving them. My mother did me. She would tell me little things here and there, and she's going on. The things that she told me, I remember. Sometimes I'll say her phrases or think of some of the things that she taught me. So it's a beautiful, beautiful thing to see.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh. And I don't want to, forget Dad, because literally they're both equally supporting this young man. And so, Katrina, kudos to both you and your husband. You guys have done a tremendous job, and it shows, Yeah. Well, I'm gonna take you all the way back to when the first time that I met all three of you, when your son came bouncing into the studio. Bouncing in. Now listen, I want to get a little bit of a backstory, because even to the ride all the way there, Katrina, how did you guys get connected in with DJ Cat and WTNT Radio?
Well, I think Tyrik would know more that side, because I just remember him telling me and his dad about his opportunity to be on the show. And I was like, what show? He was like, it's a teen show. I always wanted to do radio. He's always wanted to do anything that he media, any type of media, radio, television. So I was like, well, hey, if as long as it's something that's clean, something that's positive, we're fine with it. So we were like, okay, we'll support you. So we made sure, he was able to get to the station every weekend when he was doing it. So, but he would know more about, I can't remember because it's so many stories with Tyrik, so I can't always remember. So
Yeah.
he could tell how he met DJ Cat.
Yeah. So actually, the way it happened, it actually wasn't even me. That I remember that. Okay, so they had an event. Mom and her sister they was at an event. I can't remember what event it was, but by them making the initial thing, going to an event, Dad was networking and had met. Dad made the connection with Cat. I didn't make a connection with Cat. But so Dad made the connection with Cat, and he was telling me Dad was telling me that Cat had this radio show under his network and stuff, and so he was like, I'm gonna book you on there or all that. So I was like, okay, cool. So I was just coming on as a guest originally. And then when I got there, that's when I started being like, well, hey, I mean, I might as well stay. I mean, I'm here. So that's from what I can remember, the details and stuff, because it was, a while back. Like 8 years.
It's been a while.
Yeah, 8 years ago.
Yeah, you started off as a guest. Okay, I remember
Yeah.
now.
I started off as a guest.
You started off as a guest, and then ended up being part of the show.
Yeah, because they were interviewing me about the book, and then once they did that, that's when I think I went either talk to you or both of y'all together, and I was like, y'all gotta open it. I'm here.
I want to do it. Well, the only reason why I always bring that up with you, Tyrik, did you know that was the birthplace of this show?
Oh yeah, because you were under the network too. Yeah.
Let me tell you how that happened. So, Katrina, really, my son was one of the first hosts to be on that teen show, right?
Okay.
And I, like Tyrik, I got the bug. I'm like, wait a minute. So this is not so hard to do. So really, WTNT Radio was the birthplace of me beginning to do what we're doing right here. And so that's why I always said that was the connection between Tyrik and I. We kept going with it, right? Yeah. And little did you know, Tyrik, that I'm still in contact with DJ Cat. He is overseas now.
Yeah.
Still open to bringing everybody back that was part of WTNT Radio, because he started, Katrina, he started a lot of people on their journey to what they're doing now. Oh, and there's Kimberly Howell. She's one of them.
Hey. WTNT fam.
WTNT fam. So we literally have been talking, Katrina, about bringing all the everybody back, just to kind of celebrate WTNT Radio and talk about where people are now and how many people got started through what DJ Cat put together,
Yeah, like a little reunion. I like that.
You like that? Well, it's funny you said what you said, Tyrik, because Mr. Scribe has the same story that you do.
Oh, nice.
Started out as a guest as well, had a book, talked about his book. And once again, it was this person right here. It wasn't me.
Mm-hmm.
It was Kim. It was Kim. Kim actually, put it in my ear that Mr. Scribe will be her replacement. And so here we are, umpteen years later, doing what we're doing. Well, I want to move, kind of quickly fast forward, because you guys know that 2 hours is going to be just like that. Because Tyrik, literally, with you coming back on, and like you said, just within a year of what's going on with you in your career, you have been making incredible strides, my son. And I can't stress, enough having the support of your mother and your father right there by your side, just like Mr. Scribe saying, it might be a word or two that was, implanted in you that helped you to keep going. You want to kind of speak on that?
Yeah, it was a lot, honestly. Yeah. I would say one thing was keep going. That was always the thing.
Wow.
And another thing that both of them would always say, they would, and I hated hearing it, but they kept saying it. They would always say, the money gonna come. And I'm like, it's been some years, where the money at? Need the money. Like, so and they always said that, and I was just like, okay. Well, I mean, I was hearing, I wasn't really listening like that though. But but those are just a couple of things that was said, and it definitely kept me to continue to push for more, for greater things and stuff. And then I always had my goals mapped out. I've always had a vision, right? Because there are a lot of things I want to do within this space, within this industry. And literally right now, if you go up in my room, I have a full length mirror. And then around the mirror, I have all of my goals for the future that I want to accomplish, whether that be career wise or personal wise as well. And so what I do every day is I stand in front of that mirror and I literally go down each list and I just say it to myself.
Wow.
Mirror, I say it to myself, pray and meditate over it, and believe God, trust God that He's going to deliver those things that I have listed on that wall and stuff. And so I always striving for better, always striving for more. And that was another thing that was said, never be comfortable. There's always more you can get to, right? And so those are just a couple of things that was said, a couple of nuggets and gems that was dropped. But I'll say that one, the money gonna come, was the one that always.
But Tyrik, here's the thing. That's why your mother and dad told you that your mother's in real estate. And as you know, Katrina, in real estate, the money just don't pop up. You gotta go work with the client. You gotta get with the finance people. You gotta negotiate and all of that. The only time you see the money is at the closing. And that closing can move around and be, are we going to close on the 15th? 15 come, we ain't ready to close yet. Or the deal falls through. Are we right here to make the deal? Oh no, the deal fell through. So your mother knew exactly. And I know you was anxious because I know you wanted to have those fat pockets. But you had to wait. You had to wait on God's timing. And a lot of times, especially for a young person, that's not, because instant gratification. I'm doing this, I'm supposed to get compensated for it. But as you can see, by you grinding, you're doing it. And now the money may not be where you will, but you're getting paid. So you're just elevating that payment little by little. But again, it's going to remind you of where you started, so you'll never forget, wow, it took me a long time to get the first, and that'll keep you humble. Plus, you got your mom sitting right next to you, and your dad's in the other room. They're going to make sure you stay.
That's definitely right. And you brought up a good point. I'm glad you said that, because I feel that if it doesn't happen overnight and you actually go on a course, I'll appreciate it a little bit more rather than just a quick come up. So
there you go.
I'm grateful for the journey and all of that good stuff. So.
Wow.
Good mindset.
Go ahead, Katrina. Go ahead, Katrina.
We always tell him, God's not going to give you what you can't handle right now. So, him being, if he would have got famous, say, when he was a teenager, it may have turned into a horror story. We didn't want that for our son. So we said, hey, it's going to come when it's time, on God's time, and not on yours. Just be patient.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you know what? I'm telling you, Tyrik, it is a lesson that every last one of us are learning, especially, let me kind of hip you to this. Yeah. Now, you went to school for it. I didn't. Yeah. Right? And I'm going somewhere with this. When I developed a love for it, Tyrik, I literally started reading books on, things that are given to you as gift. Now, I'm gonna say and and when I say we, I'm talking about your mother and your father and everybody else that have been following you. Miss Mary is one of your number one fans, okay? And she's one of the ones that keeps up with you, like literally, and helps me to see, hey, did you see what Tyrik is doing? And and what that tells me is that I see that you have developed a love for this, but it's also something that you have been gifted. And so when God is giving you a gift, the main currency is this. It's all the relationships that you are building, right? Not only that, it's every building block that everywhere that you go, it's another brick that's being laid on that foundation that your mother and father have been saying to you for years and years and years. So people want to look at money as the currency, but the real currency are all those relationships and all the experiences that you are gaining. So that I remember Steve Harvey said this: when the opportunity comes, you are ready to step into it because you're the only one that can walk through that door because it's already been laid a foundation, and it's going to be an easy step for you to walk towards that very very thing that you have envisioned. Keep the vision in your mind, and you are doing the very thing that every last one of us should do, is stand in front of that mirror and just continue to visualize, visualize, visualize. And I bet you I can say this, that this is happening in your life. The right people are coming into your life, and because of your experiences, you can see the wrong people. Now speak on that.
Yeah, that's real, and it's funny you say that because that was I don't remember when I did it, but I remember saying a prayer to an extent of surround me around the right people and stuff, and that has been happening. I've been able to make so many great connections, especially when you're in this industry. Connections and knowing people is everything, right? You can have the knowledge, but if you don't have the connections and relationships and stuff, it's kind of hard to get to where you're going, right? And so that's what literally anybody in journalism will tell you: connections, 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 relationships, relationships, relationships. It is very, very, very important. And you want to be careful not to burn bridges as well and have bad blood with people in the industry and stuff. Because one thing about us, or at least us as journalists and stuff, we all know each other. We, especially Black journalists, because we're all part of this organization called NBJ, and we all see each other every year at this convention. We all know each other. We got each other's numbers, social media, all that good stuff. PR people, the same thing. I always say PR people are the glue between us and the big events or the big celebrities and stuff.
Wow.
That get us plugged in and all that good stuff. So you also want to make sure you have good relationships with them as well. And yeah, like Mary said, relationships is very, very, very important. But as you said before, the Lord has been blessing me to surround me around the right people and be able to connect with the right people. I can just say during this time, during election season, right now, those of you guys know who follow me and stuff, you've seen that I've been on the campaign trail on the Democratic side and the Republican side as well. And one thing that I have been able to do is make connections with the White House people and the people on the Harris campaign who, funny enough, this was something I had thought about. I was like, wow, when I was actually in this situation, I was like, wow, I'm actually here. But that was to actually be part of the press pool and be in the motorcade with the vice president. So it's just kind of crazy. Those are the types of connections that are valuable, that you'll value for the rest of your life and stuff. And so if Vice President Harris wins the election, I'm plugged in. So whenever it comes, I'm in the motorcade automatically, right? So that's just an example of great connections to have. And then, like you said, the negative connections, negative people that may come into your life. The Lord will give you, I think they call it discernment, right? Or
discernment.
Yeah, and so you'll be able to pinpoint who is not good, who's bad quality, and all that good stuff, because you pretty much are who you surround yourself around. And so you want to make sure that you're not keeping bad company, you only keeping good company.
Angee, the fact that he keeps, and see, that's a perfect segue to our relationship with our Heavenly Father. You keep in contact, you constantly talk, you constantly network with him. And what happens? When you keep him at the forefront, everything else around you takes care of itself, because you keep that focus. Too many times our emotions get caught up and we lose that focus. Just like when Peter stepped out of the boat and Christ said, just come to me. And as long as he kept focused on him, he was walking on water. But as soon as he took his eyes off them, he
was
started
sinking.
to sink. And that discernment and wisdom is what you're getting as well. Like you said, you can meet people, travel in certain circles, and know that person is not going to show me any type of favor. So the Holy Spirit guides you. And like you said, in your business, that's the ultimate. The ultimate is relationships. And when people know you got integrity, loyalty, and they know they can count on you, it's a bond that can't be broken.
Absolutely.
No, not no. All right, Katrina, what you thinking over there? Mom is thinking.
No, just as a parent, we have always told him, put God first and he'll direct your path.
Yes.
And we always tell him about good people, bad people. And when you meet someone, most people want something out of you, or they got to figure out, hey, what can I use from this person? What can this person give me? Or can they get me to where I want to be? Or what can I get out of them? So we always have told him, hey, you just need to stay in contact with God so he can always guide you and you can listen to him and you'll know when it's God who's speaking to you and telling you, hey, this person is the right person to be connected with. This person is not. So, we've always told him that ever since he was a child, just from choosing friends. Like my husband, his mom used to always tell him, don't let your friends choose. You choose your friends. Don't let them choose you.
Oh, I got to remember that one.
She always told him because, people will be drawn to you, but are they good for you?
Yeah.
You have to know, you have to have that discernment and know, hey, okay, this person is a good person and this is somebody I should be around.
Wow. Well, I got to say that when you know that your son is making strides and in the public eye, so to speak, both of my sons are like that. They're not, the quiet ones that sit in the corner. One's a model, and one is well. Eric went on to being a preacher, so you're always in front of people. And one thing that I had to learn, Katrina, is step back and let them feel a little bit of that pinch or a little bit of a knock, because people are not they're not going to be all for your children. You'll get some that, like you said, that want something, some that are jealous of you, some that are envious. Is different. But then I've done the same, Katrina, where I've said to my sons, but when you are a praying man, when you are asking God the who, the what, the when, the why, the how on a constant basis, he will give you that discernment and you'll feel it. You will even know it. You will see it in a conversation. Um, you'll see it in follow-up actions from people. And so, I commend you on, still being in there, Katrina, because sometimes we don't know how to let go of our grown kids. I had this conversation even with Pat Nash. We talk about it all the time. Like, when do you really, really let go? And one sermon I heard was, when they get to a certain age, all you can do is coach them along. They're no longer under your tutelage where you tell them what to do. You only encourage them what to do. So girl, and it's hard. I'm only saying that to you because it's hard to have your kids to be in the public eye and so much is coming at them, So I feel you. I feel you.
You have to tell them to grow thick skin because,
Yes.
especially in this industry, I say, hey, like our pastor always say, stop reading the comments. Because everybody's not going to be happy for you when you post something. Everybody's not going to be happy about your success. You have to learn to let stuff go. You can't hold the grudges. Oh, they didn't post, or they said this. You got to grow thick skin if you want to be in this industry and you want to be in a public eye. So,
woo, girl, we're going to come back to that. We got to take our second break, ladies and gentlemen. And if you guys have any questions or comments, do like Mary. Join in on this conversation because there might be something that you may want to ask someone. I will say this. I learned a lot from the younger people. And it's time out that we who are a little bit older, a little bit seasoned, are standing in front of our young people and think we can't learn from them. You may be able to ask Tyrik something that you always wanted to know. He has a great resume if you guys haven't been following him. And we're also going to give you that information where you can find him as well. Well, you're listening and watching Level Up, Real Talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. We'll be right back.
Mike Jesus. Yeah. One time for the independent women that's doing their own thing and killing the boss game. Working all night, pursuing a life change while putting my God first and praising his high name. I say, little mama, gon' do that there. But the people hating on you, tell them we don't care. We gon' watch God work as they stop and step, and you be coming out the fire with the flawless hair. Yeah. But first you gotta love yourself, cause if you ain't trying to do it, then who else gon' care? Real talk, Grab a mirror, gon' look real deep. Come, I got his top notch, he don't make none cheap. See, I'm looking for a woman that ain't scared to shine, who was led by a king that is so divine. I took some time to vibe, what I feel is true. A salute to all women that are going through. I love you. Cause I'm looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like you. I'm looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like.
You know, I think I like this old tree so much because it had a sadness that I could relate to. Like we were the same.
What are you doing here?
I wanted to see you.
It's been 7 years, Dorothy. There's a lot to see. You sure you've got time? They treated me like family. And how did you treat me?
When I come up yesterday and saw it was gone, I knew it was time.
Time for what?
Hello, everyone. This is Pat Nash of Pat Nash Talks, where we have the conversations that create real relationships. I'm here every single Sunday, 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern, and you can find us right here on Level Up Nation. See you then.
Hey, this is George Vincent from the Faith Film Heavenly Deposit. Level up with me and Angee from the Bee every Sunday from 3 to 5 p.m.
Hey, this is Chef Eli of Croxton Cuisine. Keep it locked right here as we level up, giving a voice to the unvoiced with real talk that takes you higher. Ordinary people with extraordinary stories.
Hey everyone, this is Keegan. Real talk that takes you higher. Level up on Sundays from 3 to 5 p.m. Ordinary people with extraordinary stories.
Heads up, Level Up Nation. At 6 p.m. Eastern, we have the new artist profile with Tony D. At 7 p.m. Eastern, we have CHH Jams Presents with Orlando and Kimberly. At 9 p.m. Eastern, Pat Nash Talks with Pat Nash. Coming in November is Dr. Kari Listens. Stay tuned, Level Up Nation. And welcome back to Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the Bee. Welcome, welcome, welcome back, everyone. And thank you guys for hanging out with us this beautiful Sunday afternoon. And as we had said before, you guys, on our breaks, we are giving a platform to the independent artists. Now, we've got some incredible artists that we have met over the years, right, Mr. Scribe?
Absolutely.
So right here on Level Up, we're giving them this platform to showcase their artistry. And with that said, every time we put up their name, there is a hyperlink only in Facebook where you can go and support that independent artist. And like Tony D said, just don't stream them, purchase the music. That's how we can support the independent artists. Well, let's get right back into our conversation, everyone. We have this incredible duo right here. And let me just say this. I do want to get right into about Wynn Productions and when you guys actually had all of that going on as well, getting that, set up and, continuing the work of supporting like we are supporting the quote unquote independent artists. So, Tyrik, I'll throw that question to you. Where are you guys with Wynn Productions, and what does the future hold for that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So right now, we are at the drawing table trying to figure some things out, right, and where we want to move forward with it. So what we're doing now is one thing. What I'm working on is rolling out a new plan, and this new plan, I'm calling it unlimited content. And so this is going to be a scenario where people can purchase this video package. It'll be a 4-hour video package, and in this 4 hours, the customer can get as much content as they want. It's unlimited. You can get as many videos as you want, unlimited editing, all of that good stuff, right? And so that is something that I'm going to be rolling out here very soon in the near future. So everybody should stay tuned in for that. But that's how we're going to come back and bounce back with everything. Because, of course, you know, people saw it. I talked about it publicly, where we had the studio and we had the studio closure and stuff. And sometimes things just happen.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes things happen like that. But I will say I'm grateful for the learning lesson and the things that I did during that process. I learned a lot about actually having a brick and mortar real building and the expenses and how to run it and everything that goes into it. So it was definitely a good learning experience, and I'm very grateful for it. And like I said, I definitely learned a lot from mom and dad too. And
Yeah.
with you know, from them, and then also being in that situation scenario taught me a lot in itself. And so I'm grateful. I'm grateful for all of that. But that's what I'm looking to do next. Is we're going to be rolling that out, and then also the future goal is to get all of these what do we call it, original programming that we've created on national television too.
Wow.
So those are the two big things that I would say is the future of Wynn Productions and what we're looking to do. And then eventually I do actually want to own a studio again, just because it didn't work the way I wanted to the first time, where I'm definitely going to do it again. And I will continue to do it until it works, because you always got to keep pushing and defying the odds. So that I would say that's the future, what it looks like in my eyes. I'm sure you agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, because Wynn Production is more of Tyreek's baby. Of course,
Okay.
his dad and I, we're their support, you know, whether it's financially or just to be to have a film, whatever he needed from us, because we saw his passion at a young age, and we knew that this is what he wanted to do. So we always told him we'll be here to support you. But of course, you know, that end of it is more of Tyreek's. You know, that's his lane, as we say. But we'll support him with the direction he wants to go. But of course, if we see it's going not the way it should, we definitely are stepping in and say, hey, no, we're not doing that. Or, you know, maybe we should do it this way. So we're more there for just more support. Definitely.
Yeah, they always keep me from getting on a rabbit trail. Because sometimes I be wanting to do stuff and they don't necessarily agree with it, you know. So because they have, but it's good, and I'm gonna tell you, it's good, and I'm grateful that I have them as to help guide me.
Advisors, yeah,
advisors, because they have businesses, they've had businesses in the past, so they know how all of that stuff works. They've been entrepreneurs for years now, so they already know how it goes and how the game goes and stuff. So it's good to have them, even though I have my own perception on how I want to do things. They always have me do things the correct way.
Yeah, he's always outvoted a lot of times.
Well, Tyreek, that wisdom, it's great that you have ideas and they're firing off as far as but it's always good to have that sounding board just to get the perspective, because the experience, a lot of times young folks don't think that the experience is important. And there's nothing wrong with having a vision, but once it aligns up with what your mom and dad are seeing, that's when things will work out. If there's something that's awry, they're going to, and it may be a little bit of disappointment and a little bit what I thought it was going to be, but in the end, you'll end up moving further along because you'll have the experience and their advice and moving forward, and that's going to increase your knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree.
Well, listen, I mean, you know, what I wanted to say in in piggybacking on what you just talked about with the relationship with your mom and dad, you know, I often say, even to my own sons, a lot of people your age don't even have their mother and father to be in that position. Sometimes it's only one parent. Sometimes it is no parent at all. But to have both of them, you know, you heard the old adage, two heads are better than one, and now you have a third. So sometimes it's good to have that, but I can tell from your mom and your dad that they know how to, you know, step in and then step out. Because I go back to what I was saying earlier, you cannot put a price on experience, on you know, learning the things that you're learning as you go along the way. I would say this, Tyrik, what you can do in all of this is continue to be in these forums like this and teaching other young people how you are going about doing and growing in your career and growing as a businessman with your career. Because here's the other thing that you may have been told, but hearing it from other people usually kind of puts it in perspective. I get it from my sons all the time. I could say something, and let me give you a name. Mr. Scribe could say the same thing, then they get it. So it's very hard to build something that you actually love doing. There are a lot of people who have jobs, and there are a lot of people who even have their own businesses, but it's not necessarily what they love doing. When you are building something based on what you love, and on top of that you're talented, that's a win-win already. Because what will happen as you grow in this, Tyreek, you will find yourself wanting to get better and better anyway, whether the money comes or not. You will find yourself, I want to go to the next convention to learn this. I want to take an online class to learn about this. I want to speak more to my mother and father about such and such, so I can just get better at it. And once you find that you're in that vein, Tariq, there's no turning back, and there's no stopping you, son. If you continue to always be a prayerful man in doing just that, what I told you. Speak on that.
Yeah, that's definitely very important, and I like what you said, because there's on this journey there's always lessons. There's always room to grow. You never, like how you was talking about taking the online class and going to this convention and this event and stuff. That you never know everything. There's always something to learn, and there's always somebody around to teach you something, right? And
Yeah.
sometimes, oh, thank you, Mary. I appreciate that. I always love Mary's comments.
Me too.
Yeah. So, but back to what I was saying. Yeah. There's always something to be learned, and that could be from the people around you, or like you said, actually step it out to be intentional to learn something as well. And that's very important. I can say different ways where I have been learning. I have been part of this entrepreneurship community where I've learned tons of things about entrepreneurship. I've been to this thing called the Podcast Summit, right? Who knew there would be podcast festivals?
Wow.
Go to strictly learn about podcasting.
Okay.
Like, this is crazy. The times that we're in right now are so great, and I'm so grateful for things that I've been able to learn along the way. So those are just a couple of things, a couple of examples of the way I learn now. Obviously, I'm always learning from mom and dad. They're always giving advice. What I would say, like I said, I have my podcast, right? I go to this yearly podcast convention, learning more about podcasting. Journalism-wise, I'm always at the National Association of Black Journalists convention every year that takes place in August. I'm learning more and more about the journalism industry and how to do stories and stuff. And when we go, and that's one of my favorite conferences to go to, because when I go to there are different you have the convention, but there are different summits within the convention. So you got the ABC News Summit, you got a CNN anchor, reporter, producer workshop.
Wow.
This stuff, and you learning from these greats that's been in the industry for 30 plus years, teaching you this valuable knowledge, and you want to learn from those kinds of people because they've been in the industry. They eat, think, and breathe the industry. They've been in it. They've been through the highs, the lows, and all that stuff. So that's always great. And then I would say, shoot, being in college, being at Georgia State, I graduated from Georgia State in 22. That taught me a whole bunch.
Wow.
These classes, I'm part of various organizations. I sit on boards and doing all of these things. I'm always learning and soaking up stuff.
Always learning.
Those are just a couple of examples.
Wow. It's funny you said that, because now you remind me on some of the things that I've been changing up based on what I'm doing here. And I have a great friend now, and new business partner who has taught me to always learn. Always learn. It keeps you from being, what's the word I'm looking for? It keeps you from being bitter. It keeps you from being, want to throw your hands up. If something is not working, I'm often finding myself, Tyrik, I'm looking for how I can learn better. Then what has happened in the past year, Tyrik, as I've been learning what I've been learning, now the people start coming around. Because now I'm sitting, like you said, in classrooms, going to, certain conventions, even doing online courses. You're among the people that are trying to learn the same thing that you're learning, or you are among the people that are trying to teach you. And what I've learned about the people who are teaching, they're always trying to find the bright new talent. So when you're going to these conventions and you're sitting among the people who've been in the industry for 30 years, guess what they're doing? They're looking at you to see what's new, bright, and fresh.
Yeah.
So there's that reciprocity. There's that, hey, I need you as I'm giving you the wisdom, but I need your tenacity. I need your wit and your know-how on the brand new stuff that is happening. So it goes back and forth.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's definitely important. And like you said, and that's funny because they actually tell you when you go like that certain convention, NABJ, they'll tell you verbatim, we're looking at you. So, and they'll always say, when you get in these rooms, make sure you're asking good questions. Make sure you're doing the good networking, like we was talking about earlier, the relationships and all that stuff. When you get in these rooms, you got to do the networking. You got to talk to the people. You got to get to know a couple of folks. Get these cards, get these phone numbers, these email addresses, social media, all of that good stuff. The networking is key.
It's so key. And I wasn't the best networker. People, when I say that, people are like, Angee, you network all the time. But what I've done in the past year and a half, I've started being around people who were better networkers than me. I started, when they were networking, I was listening to how they approach, what are the words that they say, how do they follow up. So being a great networker takes all of great elevator speeches. And how do you follow up with the second question or even second comment? And then the next thing that I've learned from these great networkers, the follow up. The follow up is always key. And a lot of go ahead, Mr. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say the money is in the follow up. I've heard that. Yeah.
The money is in the follow. But listen though, Tyrik, I really did not learn that until the last year of where we are going from here. I've heard about it, but it wasn't until I started hanging around great networkers that I saw what happened on the other side when they did that follow up. And I was like, that's how that works. Go ahead, Mr. Scribe.
No, I was just saying for me, excuse me, being on the journey with Angee, I can remember when I first came on and we were in the studio, the physical studio at that time. And during the week, Angee scrambling, trying to find somebody to come on, didn't know, basically followed up with somebody that said they was going to come on. Then they would come back and say they couldn't come on and couldn't find guests for this and that. Now, fast forward number of years, Nolan, yeah, Angee, you can, get people to come on, but have them contact the producer, Grace, and I think we're booked to next year.
Yeah.
So it went from begging folk, just come to the platform. Now, I'm sorry, we really don't have, if you're going to be on, it's going to be 2026 before we can fit you in.
Why are you telling everybody our business? Anyway.
and I love that because I remember, I'm glad, because I'm so glad, and it's not that I have forgot, but I didn't actually have it on my new calendar that I have for myself.
I did it.
You had booked me back in March or February or something.
It was February.
I guess booked all the way down the line. So, I love that.
But that shows the growth. That shows that, and for me, looking at Angee, that tells me that Angee's doing what she needs to do in order to grow and to see her vision. That's why I'm at as the co-host. The thing is, if I'm sitting here and I'm not seeing any movement, or I'm not seeing any type of growth or moving forward, then my temperament might be, you know what, it's time to get off the train because I don't really think it's going somewhere. The reason why I'm still committed is because I can look at her. Wow, I can see the changes, I can see the growth, but the main thing for me is this: she has not lost the vision that she had, which ties into our Heavenly Father. I have not seen that change. Had I seen a change in that, I probably would not be with a Level Up, even though Level Up is taking off. But the vision I noticed, and I see that in her, is that, times were difficult, folks came and went, but she still stayed focused, and she did get frustrated, and sometimes she got a little bit, not wanting to quit, but just going through a difficult period where, okay, I really can't see because we're not getting the guests. I'm not where I want to be at this particular time, but seeing it come to fruition just validate how God works. And that's the thing for me, to look at her and to be proud of her and what she's doing. Because 5 years ago, we didn't even see Level Up Nation, not just the real Level Up Nation with other platforms, and it's helping me grow. And not about my brand, but introducing me to people like you and the different guests we have. I've grown, and I'm learning from her how to do certain things and how to, because I can talk. So I got that already down pat. But the technique is another whole thing, and I'm learning that from her. Didn't mean to be long-winded, but I just wanted to give her kudos.
I'll give you $20 at the end of the show.
No, Angee, you made a mistake because I ain't doing it for $20, at least $100.
No, but and thank you, Mr. Scribe. I look at a lot of people though, Tyrik, because when I really mean that ordinary people have extraordinary stories, I look at not only you, but I also looked at the growth of your mother, and that's why I really wanted to have her on as well, because I can see that just from seeing that you were doing well, that it happens to me when I see that my kids are doing well. It actually helps me to keep pushing forward, so that the example is still growing along as you guys are growing. With the advent of Eric becoming a pastor, and would eventually, we're even saying it now, Eric could have a church. So mom and dad, where are you going to be? Where are you going to be in supporting, what your son has been gifted to do, what God has graced him to do. And so I see that with your mom and dad. I'm still, you've got a lot of aunties around you, Tyrik, that are proud of how you're still going forward. When we come back, because we got to take this last break, but when we come back, I do want you to speak on and brag on yourself, because if you don't, I'm going to ask your mother to do it. But let people know what you are doing, where you are going, so that the people that are watching live can ask questions. But for the people who are watching in replay, they can watch out for you, follow you. There are a lot of people that I can really, really say that watch this show who are praying people. And I want more people praying for you, son, because you are doing your thing. And I want to make sure that the covering is there. Well, you're listening and watching Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. We'll be right back.
History, life in quarantine, nowhere to hide, it's worldwide. We can agree to disagree, but it don't matter now. This is life. We can chill face to face and debate what is fact and what has been a lie. We can pull every card and go hard with the truth, yet be brutalized. When it's all said and done, what we have and what we want won't bring back alive. All we really need to do is hang on and speak life.
To bring about the complete independence of people of African descent here in the Western Hemisphere, and first here in the United States, and bring about the freedom of these people by any means necessary.
In every way, let the people see, let them see, and make sure you know you're right. Oh, when you speak, don't believe, no, this is your defeat. Don't incriminate your mind.
Hi, I'm Pat Nash, and I want to speak to you a little bit about dreams, about hope, about maybe giving up or wondering why you haven't moved forward. Someone asked me, how did you get here to be a relationship coach? It actually came out of a need for myself and what I observed looking around after I asked myself a couple of questions. Why was I not doing the things that I wanted to do? Why had I gone through divorce? I realized I was not the only one. You see, there's a lot of us who stopped hoping, who stopped dreaming, who stopped chasing our dreams or going after our dreams because we don't have to chase anything. When we look internally and figure out what it is that's holding us back, the sky's the limit, and you don't have to chase anything. You attract it.
Hi, my name is Kelly Bryant, and I am the face of a type 2 diabetic. I am also the author of a book series called Numbers that is available on Amazon. Numbers is about how I used a low-carb diet lifestyle to get my numbers into non-diabetic range. I am living proof that it is possible to go from a 16.6 A1C to a 5.2. So let's kick type 2 diabetes one number at a time.
Hey, this is Gina A. Towns, and you're listening to Level Up Nation every Sunday, 3 p.m. Don't miss it.
Hey, this is George Vincent from the faith film Heavenly Deposit, and you are listening to Angee from the Bee and Mr. Scribe. Level Up every Sunday from 3 to 5 p.m.
Heads up, Level Up Nation. At 6 p.m. Eastern, we have the new artist profile with Tony D. At 7 p.m. Eastern, we have CHH Jams Presents with Orlando and Kimberly. At 9 p.m. Eastern, Pat Nash Talks with Pat Nash. Coming in November is Dr. Kari Listens. Stay tuned, Level Up Nation. And welcome back. Welcome back to our final segment of the show, everyone. If you guys have any questions or comments, please type them in the comment section. Now, we are on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on LinkedIn, we're on Instagram. We are also on X. So we want you guys to enjoy this conversation on any of those platforms. But we want you to do one more thing. Please hit that share button. Please hit that share button. You never know if this conversation will help someone else. And who we are talking to the Wins, the wonderful Wins. Don't let me get something started.
We all win, Angee. We all win. WINN.
We all win. I don't know, Mr. Scribe, that might be a better one right there. We all win. All right.
We'll get that trademark, y'all. Y'all want a trademark? Get that trademark.
I love it.
Well, listen, we are into the final segment of the show, everyone. Really, we got about another 30 minutes that fly just like that. So I want you guys to get your questions and comments. Seriously, get them in right now if you are watching us on the show. For those of you who are listening to us on chhjams.com, welcome. Where you guys can find us and be a part of this conversation, head on over to The Real Level Up. That's The Real Level Up, and you'll find that on Facebook, YouTube, X, Twitter, and also on Instagram. All right, let's get right back into this conversation, you guys. Go ahead, Mr. Scribe, what you got?
So I had a question for Tyrik. Do you find at your age that there are other either men or women that are young like you that are interested in journalism? Because I know a lot of times the times we live in is kind of jaded because we see, like I'm just going to name it, like the Fox News Network, and sometimes they skew the journalism and basically twist it into something that is not real journalism. It's biased, one-sided. So how do you find within your youth group people that are really interested in going into this field?
Yeah, so there's a lot actually. So within like the organization I was talking about earlier, I was talking about NABJ, National Association of Black Journalists. So there are different affiliate chapters within NABJ across the country. And so there are student chapters as well. So colleges have student chapters where other young people around my age want to become journalists, right? And some of them are journalists because either they're part of their school news station, school newspaper, radio, or they're doing their own thing. And then also there are affiliate chapters in certain cities, right? So right now I'm the vice president of the Atlanta chapter of NABJ. And so, thank you. And in that chapter, there are a lot of people that are around my age as well who are actually actively journalists, who are anchors, reporters, editors in chiefs, all these great big time positions and stuff. And so there's a plethora of people that want to be journalists and who are in this field and doing great work.
Wow. No, it's good to hear that because a lot of times we don't, well, obviously, we're so used to TV and what we see on the screen, not realizing that there's folks behind the scene writing the stories, getting the information and doing those type of things. And it's good to hear that a lot of our folks culturally, want to do that and are interested in doing that. So thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm. Well, so let's throw a question over to Mom. So, Katrina, have you ever, wanted to get into this field yourself? I'm a mom, so both my sons are in total opposite fields of what they're into. One's a preacher, one's a model. Okay. So I was like, Angel, where'd you get these kids from? But have you ever, for yourself, thought about getting into journalism?
Well, actually, I think Tyrik kind of saw a little something with my sister and I was doing. So a few years ago, my sister and I
take the credit.
Yep. This was oh gosh, maybe around 2015, 2016. My sister and I, we actually filmed like a promo for a show, and we called it The Dish on Reality. And where we would actually just talk about different topics, but it would be centered around food. And then also we turned that into a radio show, because we actually had a radio show here locally. And I think Tyrik, he actually, he was a guest one time because he talked about his book. And with him just coming to the studio and seeing us, I think he kind of got the bug for radio at that time. He always had the TV bug, but that's when he kind of got the radio bug, and then more just being a journalist and talk show host. So I kind of, like he said, I'm taking credit, but so I did. A few years ago, I actually did. I was kind of on that journey. Now, I never wanted to be like a news anchor or anything like that, but just being kind of in the, in the mix of it with the radio show and everything, and I did enjoy it. So, but good now with just doing my real estate. So,
yeah.
Wow.
and I was gonna say, because they were doing that was the reason we ended up at that event where Dad and DJ Cat crossed paths.
Oh,
yes, she can take a little credit, but yeah. So by them doing that, that's how we got to that event. That's how they crossed paths, and I ended. So yeah, it's I always say it's a ripple effect, domino effect. How all of this stuff happens and aligns in the right place, and that's the Lord right there.
Isn't it? Oh,
and Angee, Katrina does real estate, and don't we have a month where we feature businesses? She can come on and talk about real estate.
You're already ahead of me.
The goal.
We definitely listen. Katrina has to have her own segment. Listen, because what I do love, and he's right, Katrina. We always bring people back when there's a duo that's together. We've done that with the Popes. The Popes, they came on for our couples month, and they had so much going on their own that they each came back with their own show and was able to encourage and enlighten Level Up Nation with their own businesses. A couple that was together, but they had their own separate businesses and been doing well ever since. They have since had started a talk show as well. So I really wanted, to get some insight from Tyrik, really, on the talk show. It's been like a phenomenon. Has it been to you, Tyrik? Everyone has a talk show, or everyone has a podcast. Tell me what you thought about that.
Yeah, no. First of all, I think this industry is great, and I love to see that it's growing and more people want to do their own thing and create their own content. I love it, right? Because like I was talking to you about earlier, I go to this thing called the Podcast Summit yearly, right? And so when you're in that room, it's 1,000 some podcasters in this room, people who got their own show, got their own like that's crazy. You like how far we have come in this industry and stuff, and just like what you're doing, you have your own. Do you consider it a show or a podcast?
Well, okay, great question. Back to me. You're a journalist, so I get it. So we are literally coining the term virtual talk show.
Okay.
Now help me to understand. Help us all to understand, Tyrik, because I'm gonna consider you an expert on this. And here we are sitting having this conversation, right?
Yeah.
So podcasts was a term that was given to people who did audio. So I get a little offended when people call Level Up podcast,
Yeah.
but not a podcast. The reason why I've been saying to everyone who is within the sound of my voice or who even want to listen to me, I've been saying to all of the shows that we are producing, quit calling yourself a podcast. We're a virtual talk show.
Okay.
The difference between a virtual talk show and a talk show is this. Every time that we're having this conversation, we have someone like Mary Goolsby that can type in her questions and comments right on the spot so she can be a part of the conversation. So we're actually going to trademark that at Level Up Nation. We are a virtual talk show, not a podcast. Tell me what you think.
Yeah, I like that, and I know you was talking to asking me about the talk show and podcast and stuff. So, what's happening now within this industry when it comes to podcasting specifically? A lot of podcasts are actually going video, right?
Video.
Yeah. So it's no longer just audio with a lot of podcasts. A lot of podcasts are on YouTube, and so you'll see people. They'll have their setup, whether they do it in person or virtually. They'll have their setup, their podcast mics, chairs like the ones we sit in right now, and they'll go about it and do their podcasts and stuff. So I will say that's one version, but I actually consider what you're doing. I actually consider it a talk show too, because I feel like you have a certain type of flow, and like with the commercial breaks and you had the videos and stuff like that's a real show, right? Whereas in podcasting, you're not going to necessarily have probably like not the typical podcast, probably not going to necessarily have that same flow when it comes to that aspect as well. So so that I would say that's the difference when it comes to those. But yeah, this is great. I like the term virtual talk show. I think that's all you right there.
Virtual talk show, and I think we'll be able to be the first network. So someone told us that too. I kept saying, well, I have a conglomerate of shows that I'm putting out. There was one of the co-hosts. He said, Miss Angee, you don't have a conglomerate of shows. You have a network. I said, what? He said, no, this is a network, Miss Angee. I don't know why you keep calling it a conglomerate of shows. Level Up Nation is a network.
Yeah.
And so I never considered that though. Tyrik, I'm like, okay. I went back, like I said, I don't consider that I know everything. I went back and looked up a network, and it's exactly what we're doing. Yeah. And so I literally want to educate, especially the industry, the difference between the two, and I think we'll be able to do that as long as we continue to be consistent and gently help people to know that we're not a podcast. Look at CHH Jams. The other thing that I love and enjoy doing within this industry, it's not easy, but I think if we understand the flow of how it could work, is that across different mediums, there's radio, there's television, now there's social media. How do you see that all kind of blending together, Tyrik? Do you think it's possible? And I'm asking you now as an expert, because I really do think you're an expert in this field.
Yeah, so that's actually a great question. So a couple of different things here, right? When it comes to TV, a lot of people are cutting the cable cord, right? So that's a issue that we're dealing with in TV news, right? Is a lot of people are cutting the cable cord because a lot of people don't have the regular typical Dish, Comcast, all that stuff.
Right.
Or just going straight to streaming. But on the flip side of that, the networks are catching up because the networks are having their own streaming now, right? So if you look here in Atlanta, all the news stations have their own streaming. They're on Roku and all of that stuff. Usually what networks do, they'll have their network and they'll have Plus at the end of it. So you got Network Plus, then that's considered the streaming network. And on that streaming network, you can go there, stream it 24/7 and all of that. So I do like that the networks are catching up with stream because people are cutting the cord. When it comes to social media, a lot of people are doing stuff on social media now. Social media is big. Social media is huge. My two favorite social media platforms are Instagram and YouTube. And they are my favorites because one, I think is easier to get great engagement on Instagram. YouTube is my favorite because creators can make a lot of money on YouTube. The other day I was doing some research and that's actually one of my goals on my wall that I was talking about earlier. I have one of the goals is I will make millions on YouTube. And the reason I saw that, which I didn't even know it was possible, but one day I was just looking, I said, who are the top YouTube earners, right? And so I saw that Logan and Jake Paul made $14 million strictly on YouTube. I was like,
whoa,
I can do that too. Yeah, it's crazy, right? So all you have to do, and to get there, you have to be monetized on YouTube. And so right now, I believe the monetization policies are 500 subscribers. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it's like 2,000, couple thousand watch hours or something that you need to have within 365 days, calendar year and stuff. So when I saw that, I was like, wow, I can do that too. If they
do that,
do it too. And so that's why I really like where social media is going, because like you said, a lot of people have their own shows. A lot of people have their own podcasts. So that's where the social media is coming in there, is people can do those types of things. And another thing is, if you look now, Instagram Reels is huge, right? So like what we're doing, this conversation, you can take this whole entire conversation that we're having right now, put it in AI, clip it up into different 1-minute reel clips, and you can post that on social media. That way you're bringing people from your social media, you're bringing your social media followers to watch your actual full show, right? Because once you put out that good, juicy, mouthwatering clip, ooh, I want to hear more type clip, then people will go back to watch the show and stuff. So that's how I see everything coming together, and how everything it's a lot of moving parts within it, but it's going good. The industry is booming, is growing.
Wow. Look what Mary's like. Another learn moment from Tyrik Wynn. But you know what, Tara, and you know, to kind of piggyback on what Mary is talking about, I meant to say this to you earlier. Have you thought about doing that kind of content? All of stuff that you're learning, you know, you're going from this place to this place to this place, but you know, a lot of people, even such as myself, would purchase that kind of content that you share you probably got so much in here, in that brain of yours, that if you, what's the word I'm looking for, if you arrange it in such a way that you can teach it to others, I bet you will find that that's another form of income for you. Have you thought about it?
Explain what so you mean. Yeah, I'm a little confused, I guess.
Okay, I'm gonna go on what Mary's saying. It will be a master class that you teach based on all of the experiences and education that you have done in the past 10 years. Am I right? Is it 10 years now? Is it 10 years since you've been on? Oh, look what Mary said. We would pay. She's right.
I'm doing it.
Okay, so let me say this to you then, Tyrik. And this might be something that, you know, as I said in the top of the hour, I am your media mom. It might be something, I have a little bit of knowledge on that. It might be something that I come back around to you to see if that's something that you'll be interested in.
Okay.
And one of the things that that I have learned in the past year is that we are in the information age. Some people don't even realize the way to organize what you already have in order to teach to make money. Does that make sense?
That does make sense, yeah.
Okay, and I'm gonna give you another tidbit of something that you can think about. Go back to your book. Here's another thing that I've learned in the past year, that there are a lot of things that are in books now that people will not absorb the information because it's in a book, but they'll watch a video. It's
Yeah,
something to think about.
that's true.
It's something to think about. I have to say this. I don't know if you have this in front of you because we got another 10 minutes. You see how fast it went?
Yeah.
Katrina, you see how fast it went? I have to say this to you. I don't know if you have your book around you. That was the very first thing that impressed me upon you, that you wrote the book. But here's the other part to that, Tyrik. You not only wrote the book, but you had it here and you had it here. And the way that you were teaching the young people, and let me tell you this, you weren't just teaching the young people that day. I hope I can go back to Kat and find that clip when you first sat down with the young people about your book. It was one of the most incredible interviews that they had. And I want you to hear me when I say it again. It wasn't just here, but it was in your heart. So when you're going about, considering teaching what you know, people are drawn to those who not only intellectually know it, but they have it in their heart. And when they have that information in their heart, they have a incredible way of teaching others because it comes from the heart. I hope that helps.
I love that. No, that sounds great, and I'm glad you. I would definitely be open to teaching a class on some things because I do feel like that over the years I've learned a lot, and I think, even though I'm teaching every day too. Like I'm teaching these two about social media all the time because they don't know what they're doing. So how do you do this and how do you post this? And I'm like, okay, look, this is what you need. You need to do this. You need to click this button. You need to have these settings turned on. You need to cut these. That sounds like something I would definitely be open and interested in. And I think definitely help a lot of people.
Okay.
And Katrina, I have friends that are in the real estate business, and when I'm on my timeline, they post either showings or they post certain things, and a great way to reach out and let people know what you're doing. And if they're interested enough, clients, and you know how leads are in your business. So listen to the other win right here.
Oh,
social media.
Well,
yeah,
Mrs. Scribe, I'm glad you brought that up because that's how I have been keeping up with Katrina. When she posts on when she's doing those showings and going inside, showing people inside of the house instead of just outside. Oh, she got me all ears. I'm like, what Katrina's showing now?
And it works because it makes you personable. You're basically letting people into your world. And what did Angee just say? You have the knowledge, but it's here.
Mm-hmm. You do a great job, Katrina. Seriously, you really do.
I appreciate that.
Okay. So you could expand, and you have the person sitting right next to you that can give you exactly what you need.
So y'all keep striving. Look at Mary. Mary said, listen, I got 2 kids who teach me.
That's awesome. I love it.
2 kids. But yeah, so something to consider, Tyrik, anytime, son, I'm always open. I will tell that people will always tell you, oh, Angee is really, really busy. You can't catch up to her. I make time for young people. And everybody knows that. And I make time because knowing that you guys can carry the torch on, especially the young people who are willing to teach other young people. I'm all ears, son. You got my attention. You have time. I make time for that. So, keep pushing, keep doing what you're doing. I want you to keep teaching because you only gain your audience, grow your audience when you're ready to really, really teach and really make that another stream of income. Go ahead, Mr. Scribe.
No. All I wanted to say is that it's a beautiful thing that Tyrik can reach out to you and you'll say you make time for him. But sometimes I try to reach out to you, I can't get you.
No, you're not. You're not.
I can't get a hold of you.
I know you know. I love what Mary is saying. Thank you, Angie, for being there for mine. Absolutely, yes, and she's right. She has youngsters, and I literally throw everything down when I see Carmen Goolsby on my phone. Excuse me, boss man, I gotta take this call. so, so yeah, no, anytime, Tariq. Because like I said, I see a brighter future for you, son. You're doing an amazing job. I'm telling you, it is so many people, even here over here at Level Up Nation, that are rooting for you, that are watching you, and also praying for you. You probably have a new set. Let me tell you who is probably a new person for you, right? Bonita Hunter. Okay. So Bonita is another person that is part of this Level Up Nation as well. I know her personally, and I know she'll probably be another one that's going to be rooting for you as you continue to grow. So we got another 5 minutes before we go. What are your, lasting words that you want to give to anyone that is listening? We're going to start with you, Katrina.
I would say, people always say follow your dreams, but follow your passion. Follow what you're passionate about, and always talk with God to see, because He's always going to put you in the right direction, put you with the right people to get where you need to be and where He wants you to be. Because sometimes we may want to go a certain place, but that's not where He wants you to go. So always talk to Him, stay prayed up, and just ask Him for guidance.
Wow. Well, we have all of her social media information scrolling on the bottom of the screen, everyone. Well, Katrina, that's for those who are watching, but for those who are listening on CHH Jams Radio, can you say audibly how they can reach you?
It is on Instagram, Kate Wynn Real Estate _author, and on Facebook it's Katrina Wynn. And it's Wynn is WYNN.
Awesome. All right, Mr. Tyrik, what do you got for the people who are watching and listening?
Yeah, a couple of things. One thing, just to piggyback off of what she said, definitely keep God first and allow Him to lead you, right? Sometimes we have our own plans, and we want things to run, and we have a timeline of our life, but that's not it. It's really up to Him. Like, I remember the other day I had an aha moment. I think that's what you call it. But I had a thing where I had this timeline on where I wanted to be married by 28, and right now I'm not even in a relationship. And so,
that might change.
So, and I was like, well, but then somebody told me, or I heard it somewhere, was like, hey, when guys say it's time for her to come, then it's time, right? And I said, yeah, that makes sense. I just need to get that 28 years old out of my head. But that was just a goal I had, my silly timeline. But yeah, so that's one thing. And then I also want to say another thing is be persistent in things that you do. Every time that I meet somebody or come in contact with somebody, or I'm doing an interview, if I'm talking about a publicist and I'm doing an interview with their client, they always tell me, I admire your persistence. Your persistence is what got you here, right? And so I'll give you an example. The other day I was interviewing Georgia Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger. He is the one who is over our Georgia elections, right?
Yes.
That is and those of y'all who don't know, that's the person who Trump was on the phone call trying to get the 11,000 votes, all that drama. So I did an interview with him, and his press secretary was like, Tyrik, you were so persistent. You stayed on me. You kept sending follow-up emails, and here you are. So it just goes to show you that the follow-ups, the persistence really will take you far. Like how we were talking about earlier, the money is in the follow-up. You got to follow up. You got to be persistent, and being persistent and going for what you want is very, very important. So those are my last words. But yeah, social media at the bottom of the screen. Please make sure you guys follow me. Instagram, for those of y'all who are just listening, Instagram, Tyrik Wynn, iHeartRadio. X, Tyrik Wynn TV, and then also Facebook, Tyrik Wynn iHeartRadio. And you can catch me on iHeartRadio during the weekdays. You can just search Black Information Network. That is the Pacific station. You listen to me weekdays. We're on 24/7, so just turn it on, flip the dial, and go ahead. And if you're locally in Atlanta, you can listen on the car 6:40 a.m. And then we also have other stations in other major cities across the country as well. So check that out as well. So I appreciate this. This is great. And this is actually, I was just talking to her. This is and we appreciate you for having both of us, because I was just telling her, we haven't had a joint interview since I was like 15.
Wow!
We've always done interviews by ourselves. She does her interviews by herself. I do mine by myself. So it's been like 9 years since we did on 11 Alive. Yeah.
Wow. Well, no, we really, really appreciate you guys coming on. We know the busy schedule. Tyrik, please tell the people where you were coming from trying to make this interview.
Oh, sure. So I was actually, like I told y'all, I'm a journalist, news anchor and stuff. And so lately I've been on this campaign trail on the Democratic side and the Republican side. And so I was just coming from hanging out with the second gentleman, Vice President Kamala Harris's husband. And so I was at the airport riding his motorcade, a couple of cars behind him. And so that was literally where I was coming from. And I was texting Angee and Grace saying, all right, almost at the house, be hopping on in a couple minutes, because I was in the motorcade and stuff. But thing about that stuff, that the timing is always very last minute. You got a lot of things going on, a lot of moving parts. Everything is moving very, very, very fast. And then on Thursday, I was hanging out with Vice President Harris herself, right? And so I was in her motorcade on Thursday. So that was a great experience. But today was great. I had a chance to meet Vice President Harris, Kamala Harris's sister, Maya.
Wow.
Yeah, Maya. Yeah, Maya. Matter of fact, I'm gonna pull Maya up right quick. I'll pull our picture up right quick, real fast.
Wow, there she goes, you guys. Oh my God.
So yeah, shout out to Maya and stuff. Very good people. But yeah, just been actively covering this campaign, and we'll see what happens on the 5th.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Well, you guys literally follow this young man. You will be very inspired. Look at Grace giving you a hand clap of praise, my brother. You keep pushing, as Mary Goolsby said, keep pushing through. Bonilla is like, yes, yes, yes. Angela Connolly is like, oh.
Thank you.
Well, Mr. Scribe, what do you have for the viewing and listening audience?
No, it's just been, like I said, the first time that we was able to get them together. Just shows you how God works. And I'm just thankful to be part of the show, Tyrik. You just keep doing what you're doing. It seems what you're doing is working. So just continue on that path. And Katrina, like I said earlier, I think even before we start the show, if I meet anyone that's looking to purchase a home, oh, do you know any real estate agents? Yes, I do. And you will win.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Win with Win Real Estate. So there we go. All right.
I love it.
All right. Well, you guys, this is the end of our show. I want to thank each and every one of you guys who have been a part of this conversation that we've had. It's been a long time coming. Like I said, we have been very, very excited. Once Katrina said yes, we were having both the Wins on. Tell Dad we haven't forgot about him. We hadn't forgot about him. We know he's probably in the background somewhere cheering you both on. You guys have done an amazing job. Katrina, girl, I know what it's like. Having an amazing son sitting right next to you. Everything you have prayed for, you are seeing the fruits of your labor, girl. Keep pushing forward yourself. You have a home just like your son has had for years. You have a home here, right here at Level Up. Now it's Level Up Nation. So I want everybody to know that there are other shows that will be coming on right after our show. You guys stay tuned for a new artist profile with Tony D. That will be at 5 p.m. Eastern. Right after that, you guys will definitely enjoy that Kimberly and Orlando on CHH Jams Presents. And rounding us off, oh my gosh, y'all don't want to miss this show with Pat Nash. She will be coming on introducing a new show coming to Level Up Nation. It is a spinoff show from her show. So you guys don't want to miss that at 9 p.m. Eastern, the Pat Nash Show. Well, you guys, y'all have been listening and watching Level Up, real talk that takes you higher. I am your host, Angee from the B. We will be back here next week, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Pacific, right here on the same bat channel, The Real Level Up. Well, we love you. We miss you. We'll take care. See you next week.
Some truth. Now and then I feel I'm talking, feel I'm speaking to myself. Is anyone determined anymore? Is anyone living for his glory's well? Is anyone determined anymore? Is anyone living for his glory's well? I'll be his light and I'll shine, 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 shine. I believe there's a purpose and a destiny for us all. You can be what he puts in your heart. You can do it. Don't give up. No. Is anyone listening to him? Can you hear what God said? Is anyone listening to him?
You know, I think I like this old tree so much because it had a sadness that I could relate to. It's like we were the same.
What are you doing here?
I wanted to see you.
It's been 7 years, Dorothy. There's a lot to see. You sure you've got time?
They treated me like family.
And how did you treat me?
When I come up yesterday and saw it was gone, I knew it was time.
Time for what?
Yo, here we go. Intro for my show. Nice though, hot like nitro. Cool as ice though. With that type of dichotomy, y'all know it's gotta be. Who else could it be but T? Rub your eyes, behold the Tony D. I'm the Dream Supreme DJ straight out of Queens. I'm eclectic, the dope is selected. Emerging music break, Tony D will take. Yeah.
Well, Tony, I don't care, long as you take me there, someplace to ease my mind. Just cruising, just cruising. Well, Tony, just cruising. We just cruising.
Mike Jesus. Yeah. One time for the independent women that's doing their own thing and killing the boss game. Working all night, pursuing a life change while putting my God first and praising his high name. I say, little mama, gon' do that there. But if people hating on you, tell them we don't care. We gon' watch God work as they stop and step, and you'll be coming out the fire with the flawless hair. Yeah. But first you gotta love yourself, cause if you ain't trying to do it, then who else gon' care? Real talk, grab a mirror, gon' look real deep. Come, I got his top notch, he don't make none cheap. See, I'm looking for a woman that ain't scared to shine, who is led by a king that is so divine. I took some time to vibe, what I feel is true. A salute to all women that are going through. I love you. Cause I'm looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like you. Yeah, I'm looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like, looking for a girl like.
Hey, this is Rick Irvin, producer and co-director of the film Heavenly Deposit. Let's have a real conversation with Level Up every Sunday, 3 to 5 p.m.
Real talk that takes you higher. Ordinary people with extraordinary stories. This is the mission of the Real Level Up, hosted by Angee from the B, co-hosted by me, Mr. Scribe, and our phenomenal producer, Grace Hendy. Tune in on Sundays, 3 to 5 Easterns, 2 to 4 Central, 1 to 3 Pacific, on Facebook, X, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Join us for an exciting show.
Heads up, Level Up Nation. At 6 p.m. Eastern, we have the new artist profile with Tony D. At 7 p.m. Eastern, we have CHH Jams Presents with Orlando and Kimberly. At 9 p.m. Eastern, Pat Nash Talks with Pat Nash. Coming in November is Dr. Kari Listens. Stay tuned, Level Up Nation.